Progress. ॐ सदाशिवसमारम्भां शङ्कराचार्यमध्यमाम् अस्मदाचार्यपर्यन्तां वन्दे गुरुपरम्परां श्रुतिस्मृतिपुराणानाम् आलयं करुणालयं नमामि भगवत्पादशङ्करं लोकशङ्करं शङ्कारूपेण मच्चित्तं पङ्कीकृतमभूद्यया किङ्करीयस्य सामाया शङ्कराचार्यमाश्रये प्रह्लादवरदो देवो यो नृसिंहः परो हरिः नृसिंहोपासकं नित्यं तं नृसिंहगुरुं भजे श्री सच्चिदानंद शिवाभिनव्य नृसिंह भारत्यभिधान्यतीन्द्रान् विद्यानिधीन् मन्त्रनिधीन् सदात्मनिष्ठान् भजे मानव शम्भुरूपान् सदात्मध्याननिरतं वृषगेभ्यः पराङ्मुखं नौमि शास्त्रेषु निष्णातं चन्द्रशेखर भारतीं विवेकिनं महाप्रज्ञं धैर्यौदार्यक्षमानिधिं सदाभिनवपूर्वन्तं विद्यातीर्थगुरुं भजे भारती करुणापात्रं भारती पदभूषणं भारती पदमारूढं भारती तीर्थमाश्रये विद्याविनयसम्पन्नं वीतरागं विवेकिनं वन्दे वेदान्ततत्त्वज्ञं विदुषेखरभारतीं सुखं नित्यं स्वप्रकाशं व्यापकं नामरूपयोः अधिष्ठानं बुद्ध्यबोध्यं बुद्धेर्दृक्यत्वनिर्मलम् अपारं सर्ववेदान्तवेद्यं प्रत्यक्परं महः तदेवाहं न मत्तोऽन्यत् इति मे निश्चिता मतिः हरिः ओम्. So in the last class, we were looking at the Aikabhavika Matam, specifically the refutation of the Aikabhavika Matam. And if you will recall, the Aikabhavika Matam is a Purva Mimamsa Ekadeshi. I'm using a lot of Sanskrit terms. Hopefully people understand what it means. Purva Mimamsa is essentially that branch of philosophy that was refuted by Shankaracharya on the basis that it stipulated that moksha can be attained through the performance of Vedic rituals. To be very careful, Shankaracharya was not refuting the fact that Vedic rituals need to be performed. He was merely refuting the fact that Vedic rituals are the direct means for liberation, which was the position of the Purva Mimamsa. Because according to the Upanishads and according to Shankaracharya, the only means for liberation, the direct means, is jnana, specifically Brahma Jnana, the knowledge of Brahma Jnana, and specifically the knowledge that I, the Atma, am none other than Brahma. So it is the Jiva Brahma Aikya Jnana, which is the direct means for liberation. So this does not mean that in the Upanishadic worldview and Shankaracharya's worldview, that karma has no place in Advaita. We should be very careful that Shankaracharya does not say that karma is useless. There seems to be this modern, newfound beliefs which claim to be adherents of Shankaracharya, claim to be adherents of Advaita. They say, I am spiritual but not religious. Let us be very, very clear. Such a view is fundamentally untenable with Advaita. Because religion is a means to spirituality. To explain, karma is necessary in Advaita, not for the purpose of directly conferring moksha, but karma is necessary in Advaita as a means to attain the qualifications necessary for jnana. So, through the performance of karma yoga in particular, and upasana yoga in particular, one attains chitta shuddhi and chitta ekagrata. Chitta shuddhi means the purity of the mind. Chitta ekagrata means the stability of the mind, the focus of the mind. So by ensuring that the mind is pure and ensuring that the mind has the capacity to focus, one attains the basic qualification necessary to start the Jnana Sadhana, which is the Shravanam, Mananam, and Nididhyasana. That is the study of the scriptures under a competent guru for a period of time is Shravanam. The reflection upon what has been taught by the guru and the reconciliation of any doubts that may arrive through a process of logical reasoning is Mananam. And then once the clear knowledge has, doubt-free knowledge has been attained, meditating upon it, abiding in that knowledge to overcome any psychological obstacles to liberation. This meditation and abiding in that knowledge is what is known as Nididhyasana. So Shravanam is the study of the scriptures under a guru. Mananam is logical reasoning upon what has been taught. And Nididhyasanam is the abidance and meditation upon that meaning. By doing this, one gets clear jnana, which is free from any doubts, which has overcome any inherent psychological obstacles. And that is the means to moksha. That is the direct way in which ignorance is destroyed. And when ignorance is destroyed, moksha is attained. So the purpose of karma in the scheme is in the preparation of the mind. So one cannot be spiritual if one was not religious before. Because that religiosity is what gives us the discipline and the purity of mind necessary to undertake a jnana sadhana. So in this Vedantic conceptualization of life, of what an ideal life is, one studies the Vedas, then one performs the karma as enjoined in the Vedas, secures dharma, artha, and kama as enjoined in the Vedas, develops an attitude of Ishvara Bhakti and Ishvara Aradhana when doing the karma, thereby transforming the karma into karma yoga. And that performance for karma yoga over a period of time gives the mental purity and the focus necessary for the study of Vedanta. And then starts the Vedanta process where one does Shravana, Manana, Nididhyasanam, and attains moksha. So this is the path from that a mumukshu takes in the Vedantic conceptualization of truth. Now, the Purva Mimamsaka, on the other hand, wants to argue that this process of jnana sadhana is not necessary, that merely by the performance of karma itself, moksha can be attained. And his view is that you can engineer the performance of karma in such a way that you can ensure that there is no further births for you, that in this very birth itself, you can finish all your sanchita karma. And when the prarabdha karma ends, prarabdha karma is that karma which has given rise to this birth. And so long as that prarabdha karma lasts, this life lasts, after which, when the prarabdha karma ends, this body is dropped, the physical body is dropped, and that is what is known as death. So in the Purva Mimamsa system, through the performance of Nitya Naimittika karma, through the avoidance of Nishiddha karma, through the performance of Prayashchitta karma, one can ensure that this life is the last life. So it is called Aika Bhavika Matam, meaning Bhava in this context means birth. In this birth itself, in one birth itself, you can attain moksha. So it's called Aika Bhavika Matam. So, and we were looking at the refutation given in Vichara Sagara by Nishaladasa to this view. We had finished topic number 104. Let us look at topic number 105. I will share my screen. Topic number 105 in page number 65. Sanchita sakala kamya karma phalam naikena sharirena anubhavitam shakyam. So the Purvapakshi had said that the entirety of the Sanchita karma can be finished merely by giving up the desire for Sanchita punya karma, and Sanchita papa karma can be burned merely by the performance of prayashchittam. So prayashchittam is to destroy Sanchita papa, and dropping the desire for the result of Sanchita punya, you don't get the result of that. Merely by dropping the desire, the result of the punya karma also does not accrue. This was the view of the Purvapakshi. Nishalasa is in this topic is saying Sanchita sakala kamya karma phalam. All of the results that will accrue as a result of this entire karma bundle that has been accrued over multiple births, innumerable births, this karma bundle is called Sanchita Kamya Karma. Sanchita Sakala Kamya Karma Phalam na ekena sharirena anubhavitum shakyam. It is not possible for you to experience the results of all the prior births in one birth itself. Kincha, moreover, Sakala Sanchita Kamya Karmanam Phalatvena Samuchitya Aikameva Shariram Jayate Yati Iti Yat Purva Muktam Tanna Sambhavati. Now, previously it was said that all of the results of the Sanchita Karma have now given rise to one particular physical body. The Purvapakshi had said. That is not appropriate. Sanchita nana kamya karmanam aneka viruddha phalatvat tesham phalam ekenaiva janmana anubhavitum na shakyate. Why is it not possible? Because you have done various kinds of kamya karmas. In one birth, you may have had a desire to be born as a deva. In another, in the same birth itself, at some other time, you may have had a desire to be born as a king, to have great fame, to be a great scholar, to be a great, you may have fame, to have defeated various enemies, to have ruled the three worlds. All of these, is there any end to desire? There can be so many different types of desire. That being the case, the results of karma undertaken with those desires in mind. So, for example, there are certain karmas that have been prescribed in Shastra for the attainment of wealth. Then there are other karmas prescribed in Shastra for the attainment of heaven. There are some karmas that have been prescribed even for the attainment of the Hiranyagarbha Padavi, to become Hiranyagarbha himself, Indra himself. So each of these kamya karmas, that is, karmas done with those desires in mind, will produce a birth which is not congruous with other kamya karmas that you may have done in another birth. So that being the case, within one birth, you cannot experience the results of all the kamya karmas. That is not possible. Ekasminneva janmani yugapadeva nana shariraihi sakala bhogan anubhavati iti tu siddha yoga vishaye ghatate natu itarasya vishaye. Now, to remedy that, if you say within one birth itself you can take multiple bodies. Now, Nishadasa is saying, well, that you do hear of things like that, like where certain yogis are able to live multiple lives, occupy multiple bodies at the same time in the same birth. Those kinds of things are possibly true for siddhas, not for normal people, right? So, for most people, the body that they have been born with is the body that they hold on for that life. And then when that body dies, then they take on another body. So to simultaneously experience different kamya karma phala, which requires different bodies, is not possible in one birth. It may require multiple births. Siddha yoginopi he अष्टैश्वर्यादि सर्वसिद्ध सिद्धि सामर्थ्ये सत्यपि विना ज्ञानं न मोक्षः सिद्ध्यति इति वेदांत सिद्धान्तः. Now, even in the case of the siddhas meaning those who have attained this ashta siddhi, anima, garima, laghma, etc. All of these are various kinds of ashtamaha siddhis they are called, in which one of them is to parakaya pravesha, to enter the body of somebody else, etc. In fact, there are stories in the Mahabharata itself where there are a yogini enters the body of the king and then has a conversation with the king while remaining in the body. And so you hear things like that. Now, this is the Vedanta Siddhanta is that even for those Siddha Purushas, they will only attain moksha if they have Brahma Jnana. Now, the Yoga Siddhi may give them extraordinary powers, but those extraordinary powers are still not sufficient for moksha. What is necessary and sufficient is jnana. So they may have siddhis, but for them to have moksha, they need to have brahma jnana. So this is what he's saying. Brahma jnanam vina siddha yoginopi moksha na siddhi. So in the absence of brahma jnana, for the siddha yogis, you don't have moksha, even if they were to have these Ashtamaha Siddhis. Now, topic number 106. Nishkrishtarthastu ithancha kamya karmani nishiddha karmani cha vihaya nityanaimittika karmani anushtito agyasya tattan nityanaimittika karmanam phala anubhavaya janmantara arjita shubha karmanam phala anubhavaya cha pratyekam अनेक शरीराणि उत्पत्त्येरन्नेव न तु मोक्षः संभवेत्. Now, what he's saying is, in summary, every jiva has done several kamya karmas. He has done several nishiddha karmas in his past births. Now, even if he were to avoid any kamya karmas and nishiddha karmas in the current birth and was to only do nityanaimittika karma, those nityanaimittika karmas will produce results. Nityanaimittika karmas will also produce punya. Okay, so that punya will have to be enjoyed either in the current birth or it may require another birth also. So you need to take another birth. Secondly, the nityanaimittika karmas, the kamya karmas that you have done in previous births and the nishiddha karmas that you've done in previous births, they will definitely produce results which may require another physical body, multiple physical bodies. Now, it will necessarily create aneka sharirani utpadderaneva. It will definitely lead to multiple future births. For whom? For ajna. That's why he says, nitta naimittika karmani anushtito ajnasya. Very important, ajnasya. For the jnani, even if he were to see, even after jnana, it's not as if he's going to immediately lose his life. The jnana will destroy sanchita karma. The jnana will destroy agami karma, will avoid agami karma, but the jnana will not destroy the prarabdha karma which has given rise to the body. This is very important. This is very an important subtlety that you all have to know. That when we say jnanagnihi sarvakarmani bhasmasat kurute, when Bhagavan Shri Krishna says that sarva karmani, that sarva shabda refers to sarva sanchita karmani and sarva agami karmani, but it cannot refer to the prarabdha karma. Why? As Shankaracharya says in the Brahma Sutra Bhashya, now there is it's like an inertia. A body which is in motion will continue to be in motion for some time, even when the force that is causing the motion to happen stops. So for example, if you have a fan and you switch on the fan, electricity is running, that causes the motor to rotate and the fan blades rotate. After some time, you switch off the fan. The electricity stops, the circuit is broken, and the motor stops. Now, despite the motor stopping, the fan blades will continue to run for some time, even when the electricity is switched off. Why? It's because of inertia. Similarly, what jnana does is it destroys all the karmas that haven't fructified. It helps the jnani avoid the future karmas that he will do. But the karmas that have given rise to the current body and to all the experiential pleasure and pain that the current body has to uh, experience, he will continue to experience. Why? Just like the fan continuing to run even when the electricity has stopped. It is like an inertia effect that is in place. So Shankaracharya gives the example, because in his time there were no electric fans. So he gives the example of a king who is fighting a battle and he's shooting arrows using a bow. Now, he may have received an instruction to stop the battle. And so he keeps the bow down. But the arrows that he has shot already and which are in air, they will not stop just because the king has put the bow down. They will continue flying until they hit the destination. Similarly, the prarabdha karma which has started producing its results will continue doing its results despite the presence of Brahmajnana, which is why the jnani will continue to have a physical body, will continue to move on in this world. And you see all of these gurus that we have, the Guru Parampara that we have, they were all jnanis and they did many things. But as far as they are concerned, those actions are done by the physical body, not by them, because they are identifying themselves with consciousness, not with the physical body anymore. And consciousness does not act. So, as far as they are concerned, from their perspective, they have realized that naiva kinchit karomi. I am not doing anything at all. Even when the physical body and the mind is operating, when it continues to do its daily things, the jnani knows very well that he, the consciousness, is not doing. So the prarabdha karma will cause the body and the mind of the jnani to experience various things, pleasure and pain. But the jnani will look at it and continue moving. So anyway, the point being said here is this is for the case of a jnani. The jnana destroys sanchita karma. The jnana helps the jnani avoid agami karma, but the jnana does not destroy prarabdha karma. In the case of an ajnani, he does not have jnana. He's an ajnani because he does not have jnana and he's still operating in the sphere of avidya, mula vidya, which is the primary avidya that is the cause of samsara. So for that ajnani, he will necessarily have to experience sanchita karma. He will necessarily have to experience agami karma. He will necessarily have to experience prarabdha karma. And just because you avoid kamya karma and nishiddha karma in the current birth, the ajnani will not be able to avoid a future birth where he experiences the result of sanchita kamya karma and sanchita papa karma. Tasmat ज्ञानद्वारा बन्धनिवृत्तिरेव अस्य ग्रन्थस्य प्रयोजनम् इति युक्तमेव उक्तम्. So what is the reason why we are saying this? The reason why we have started this discussion, because we were looking at the Anubandha Chatushtayam. Let us take a step back. The Anubandha Chatushtayam section is what we are currently discussing. Anubandha Chatushtayam essentially are the fourfold reasons why somebody should study this work. And every author of any work needs to explain what the Anubandha Chatushtayam is. And so what is the Anubandha Chatushtayam? Who is the Adhikari, the qualified student? That is one. Number two is what is the Vishaya? What is the subject matter? Number three is Prayojanam. What is the benefit of studying this work? And finally, four, Sambandha, what connects this work to the adhikari, to the vishaya, to the prayojana. All these four things, adhikari, vishaya, prayojana, and sambandha, must be stated by all authors. Now, when Mr. Dasa had said that the prayojana or the benefit, the reason why you should study this work is because this will ultimately lead you to moksha through producing Brahma Jnana. By studying this work as part of your Shravana, Manana, Nididhyasana, you will be able to attain moksha by because this work will necessarily produce Atma Jnana, Atma Sakshatkara for you, will produce Brahma Jnana for you. This is the bold contention that Nisargadatta had made. To this, the opponent had said, well, you don't need to have jnana for moksha, karma itself can produce moksha. No, this entire section where the Aika Bhavika Mata has been refuted by Nisargadatta is to establish the prayojana of this work, that jnana and jnana alone can produce moksha, karma cannot produce moksha. So therefore, the stated prayojana of this work, that this work is necessary for the generation of Brahma Jnana, through which moksha can be attained. This prayojana is a tenable statement. That is the reason why we have undertaken this massive, elaborate analysis of the Purva Mimamsa system of Karmana Moksha or Moksha through Karma. That is, such a system is untenable. Yes, karma is necessary, but it is not a direct means for moksha. Jnana alone is the direct means for moksha. This is this stands proven based on all of these arguments. यथा स्वप्ने उपलभ्यमान मिथ्यावस्तु जाग्रत् प्रबोधमन्तरा न निवर्तते तथा अविद्यादशायाम् उपलभ्यमान मिथ्या प्रपंचोपि ज्ञानात्मक जागरणम अंतरा न निवर्तेत इति सिद्धम. So in the dream state we see various objects. Now as long as we are in the dream state, we are not aware that those objects are mithya. When do we become aware that those objects are mithya or unreal or illusory? When we wake up. So when we wake up, then we say, oh, I have been dreaming all those things. Those objects must be illusory objects because they don't exist upon waking up. So in the same way, in our example, so that was the example. In the exemplified, which is what we are talking about, which is this current topic, this entire universe is actually mithya. It is an appearance in Brahman. So, how do you know that this is mithya? The only way you can know this is mithya is upon waking up to the higher reality of what the underlying substratum of this universe is. So when you realize that the only thing which is real in this universe is the Satyam Jnanam Ananta Vastu, the ever-existent consciousness, that behind all the changing things, there is one unchanging thing. That unchanging thing is the substratum consciousness, which appears as the existence in all objects. When that becomes clear, then you wake up to the higher reality that what had appeared so far was only a mithya prapancha, not a satya prapancha, a mithya universe and a satya universe. But in order for you to come to that realization, you need to wake up. You need to wake up from this deep sleep called avidya. And what is the process of waking up? Jnana is the process of waking up. So when you wake up to jnana, you realize that the avidya and the product of avidya, which is this mithya universe, are both mithya. They are merely appearances in the consciousness, and that consciousness has never changed and also in no period of time avidya existed or this prapancha existed. They are all mere appearances. There is no underlying reality to them. Intrinsic reality doesn't exist. It is merely a borrowed reality from you. This is the realization that most people will have once they have jnana. Iti, so Jagrana Mantara na nivarteta. What doesn't have nivritti? This mithya prapancha doesn't have nivritti unless you have jnanatmaka jagranam, unless you have woken up to this higher knowledge. Now, until now, we had looked at the prayojanam part of the anubandha chatushtayam. Now we look at the sambandham, sambandha and vishaya. Sambandha vishayaka akshepaha samadhanam cha. Now, what is the objection? Topic number 107. Adhikaryadi siddherna sambandhopi siddhyati. He says, तथा ही विषया सिद्ध्या ग्रंथ विषययोः प्रतिपाद्य प्रतिपादक भाव रूपः संबंधः न सिद्ध्यति. Now, because the adhikari etc. Does not exist for this work, there is no sambandha of this adhikari with anything. Because if there is no qualified student, how can there be a connection of the student with the work? To explain, when there is the vishaya of this word, Jiva Brahma Aikya, this vishaya itself is not proven, the Purvapakshi is saying. Grantha vishayoho pratipadya pratipadaka bhavarupaha sambandha na siddhati. So what is the first sambandha that you should have? The first sambandha is that this work should reveal the subject matter. The revealer is called pratipadaka, the revealed is called pratipadya. So the grantha of the work is the pratipadaka revealer, and the pratipadya vishaya is the subject matter, which is Jiva Brahma Aikyam. Now, he says this Jiva Brahma Aikyam itself is not proven. So how can this grantha reveal it? Secondly, adhikari phalayoho abhavacha anayoho prapya prapaka bhava rupa sambandha na siddhati. Now, this is who's saying all this? The Purvapakshi is saying this. We should be very careful. No, because the adhikari is not present. And the phala, which is moksha, is also not possible through jnana. How the prapya prapaka bhava rupa sambandha na siddhati. So the prapya vishaya is the phala, and the prapaka is the one who attains it, is the adhikari. No, the attainer is not present, the attained is not present. Both are absent. That being the case, how can there be a prapya prapaka sambandha? Second. Third, adhikari asiddhya, adhikari vicharayoho kartru kartavya bhava rupa sambandha na siddhyati. No, because there is no possible candidate for this work, there can be no doer and action connection with respect to this work. Who's the doer? The doer is the adhikari, and what is the action? Vichara or inquiry is the action. If the qualified student himself is not present, there is no doer. That being the case, how can there be a sambandha between the doer and the action? That also is not possible. Nishphalatvat jnanasya grantha jnanayoho janya janaka bhava sambandha api na siddhyati. Now, the Purvapaksh's view is that the jnana does not produce moksha. If jnana does not produce moksha, the between the no. The Nishphalatvad jnanasya grantha jnanayoho janya janaka bhava grantha jnanayoho. So he says the jnana is not something that is going to lead to moksha. So therefore, this grantha being the cause for the jnana, there is no particular benefit from the jnana in the first place. So why do we even need to worry about the grantha producing a jnana which doesn't produce a result? Saphalam cha vastu utpadyate cha nishphalam jnanam ta purvoktaritya na saphalam. No, you may say, okay, the jnana may be not produce moksha, but the fact that this work produces jnana is still true. So therefore, you can still have the janya janaka bhava sambandha. Janya means the product, janaka means the cause. The cause-effect relationship between the book as the cause for jnana as the effect is still true, even if the jnana itself serves no purpose. So the Purvapakshi is saying, even if the Grantha produces the jnana, if the jnana does not produce moksha, the jnana is nishphala, and therefore there is no benefit from such a jnana. And having a janya janaka bhava sambandha of something which is ultimately not producing its result serves no purpose. Jnanam tu purvokta ritya na saphalam. So this is the argument. Number 5. Kincha ज्ञानस्य स्वरूप असिद्ध्यैव न ज्ञानग्रन्थयोः सम्बन्धो घटते. So the Purvapakshi is saying here that the fact that there is something known as a jnana itself stands unproven. Swarupa Siddhi is a dosha given in Nyaya Shastra where the thing that you're trying to prove itself doesn't exist. So the jnana that you are saying will be produced as a result of this grantha, that jnana itself is an unproven thing. That there is something known as Jiva Brahma Aikya Jnana itself is unproven. Its Swarupa itself is asiddha. Therefore, to say that this book will produce jnana and that jnana will produce moksha is a far-fetched theory. This sambandha between Janya Janaka, the jnana being produced as a result of this grantha, that sambandha is not possible. सिद्धांते ही जीव ब्रह्मा भेद निश्चय एव ज्ञानम इत्युच्यते. So what is jnana in Siddhanta? The abheda jnana, the knowledge of identity between the jiva and Brahman, is the jnana that is desired according to Vedanta. Jiva Brahma abheda asambhavadeva sacha nishchaya mrisha iti prag vishaya prastave akshaptatvad abheda nishchaya rupam jnanam na siddhyati. So previously, when refuting the Vishaya of this Grantha, the Vishaya being Jiva Brahma Abheda, the Purvapakshi had argued that the Jiva is a very finite entity, Ishvara is infinite. How can a finite entity be identical with an infinite entity? The Jiva is a samsari, Ishvara is an asamsari. How can a samsari Jiva be identical with the asamsari Brahman? And the matter of our own limitations is something which is known through direct perception. And whereas the knowledge of identity is known through Shruti, perception will always trounce somebody's statement. If I'm experiencing something directly, just because somebody else says that no, that is not the case, how can my experience be negated? It's my lived in reality. My limitations are my lived in reality. So how can you say that identity of this jiva with an infinite Brahman is the ultimate reality that I should realize? So the Purva Pakshi is arguing that such a thing called Jiva Brahma Abheda, or the identity between Jiva and Brahman itself, is an impossibility. And therefore, the knowledge of such an impossibility must also be impossible. That being the case, the same applies when we are discussing in the context of the Sambandha also. The Jiva Brahma Abheda Jnana is Swarupa Asiddha. It doesn't exist itself. And therefore, the Sambandha between this Grantha and such a Jnana stands unproven. Therefore, Anubandha Chatushtayam does not exist. Therefore, one need not study this work. Itham Adhikari Adi Anubandha Chatushtaya Asiddhya Asya Granthasya Arambhaha Vifalaha. So this is the Purvapakshi's argument here. The Samadhanam, or the refutation given by the Siddhanti, is very simple. And we will give that and we will bring this class to a close. Topic number 108. Let's read. Samadhana. Purvokta prakarena granthasya adhikari vishaya prayojananam shruti yukti anubhavaihi prasadhitatvat esham sambandhovi sambhavati. He gives a very simple answer. He says, all of these objections that he has made in the case of the Sambandha We have, he is merely repeating the arguments, the Purvapakshi, he is repeating the arguments that were refuted previously. Because he does not know our refutation. He has gone ahead and used his own arguments to build a case that the Sambandha also doesn't exist. So he had said Adhikari does not exist. We had gone into a very long discussion as to the Adhikari existing, that the people are of four types, the Pamara, etc. We had discussed. And there, the Mumukshu is the Adhikari for this work. Then he had said the Jiva Brahma Abheda itself is an impossibility. We had said, no, it's definitely a possibility. Because the Shruti is saying that, our Anubhava also is saying that of deep sleep state, and logical reasoning, Yukti also is saying the Yukti of the example of a rope snake, the example, the dream example, all of that, this we can use as logical examples for why and how there can be one underlying reality to an illusory appearance. And that reality being a common shared reality. That reality being a common shared reality, the example is the dream state. In the dream state, both the dream world, the dreamer, and the other dream characters are all one consciousness alone. That one consciousness appears as the dream world, as the dreamer, and as other dream characters. Similarly, this waking world that we are seeing also has the one consciousness as its underlying reality. The mere fact that one experiences something does not make it real. So the Purvapakshi had argued, how can you negate my lived in experience? The Siddhanti had said, well, your own experience tells you that the world is flat, the earth is flat. It tells you that the sun rises and sun sets. But the world is not flat, it is a sphere. And the sun does not rise or set. It is the earth which revolves around its axis. So merely the fact of a flat, your experience of a flat earth or your experience of sunrise and sunset does not make those events a reality. So therefore, you cannot cite experience or pratyaksha as being more powerful to Shabda Pramana. Because Shabda Pramana in this case is science. Science tells you that this world is spherical. Science tells you that the earth is rotating on its axis. So the mere fact that you experience a flat earth or the mere fact that you experience a sunrise or a sunset is no proof that that perception is more valid than science, which tells you that the earth is spherical and that the earth rotates around its axis. The sun does not go around the earth. Thirdly, the Purvapakshi had argued about the Prayojana being not present. We had elaborately looked at why the Prayojana is present. He had argued saying that you can attain moksha through karma itself. We had done an elaborate refutation of that system also. So we had established that it's only through jnana that moksha can be attained. Karma cannot produce moksha. So when the Purvapakshi then says that there is no adhikari, there is no vishaya, there is no prayojana, all of these are swarupa asiddha, therefore there can be no sambandha between them. That also stands proven because we have established why those things exist. So when those things exist, that is, what are those things? Adhikari, vishaya, and prayojana. Then it can exist. The sambandha between them can exist also. That's what he says. Purvokta prakarena granthasya adhikari vishaya prayojananam shruti yukti anubhavaihi prasadhitatvat tesham sambandhopi sambhavati. Therefore, the connection between them also is possible. Tasmat asya granthasya arambha shakyate eva kartum. Therefore, this work can necessarily be started because the Anubandha Chatushtayam exists for this work. इति श्री वासुदेव ब्रह्मेन्द्र सरस्वती विरचिते संस्कृत विचार सागरे अनुबंधानां विशेषतो निरूपणं नाम द्वितीयस्तरङ्गः. With this, we come to the conclusion of the second taranga, second chapter of Vichara Sagara. There are 7 chapters. We will look at the third taranga from the next class onwards. Sri Gurubhyo Namaha. Harihi Om. Purnamadah Purnamidam Purnat Purnamudachyate पूर्णस्य पूर्णमादाय पूर्णमेवावशिष्यते। ओम शांति शांति शांति। हरि ओम।